Up on DC News Now at 4, a Washington County judge killed at his home. The suspect now on the run
is considered armed and dangerous.
New details this hour. Plus, get ready to stretch your dollar in Virginia this weekend. What's eligible for tax-free shopping?
I'm tracking rain and windy conditions. I have your weekend forecast in a moment.
Also, fall allergy season is here, and your pets are feeling it too. Learn more in this week's What's Going Around. And we head to Union Station,
not just shine, but shined,
where one man's hard work is keeping a dying industry alive.
The station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 4. I'm Ben Dennis. Mark Hall will be joining our newscast later this evening.
And I'm Elisa Gale. We start in Maryland this afternoon, where a judge was shot to death in his driveway hours after ruling in a divorce case.
And investigators say that this was a targeted attack. The man who lost custody of his kids in the case is their prime suspect on the run at this hour.
Our Randy Bass is live in Hagerstown, where she's been all day gathering information. Randy, what else can you tell us about the suspect and the judge's connection tonight?
Yeah, Annalisa, learning more about the suspect tonight. He was involved, the judge in this case, Andrew Wilkinson, was involved with his divorce proceedings earlier in the day yesterday. But tonight, though, the mood here in this Hagerstown neighborhood, this quiet Hagerstown neighborhood, even quieter as they mourn his loss, and the search ramps up for the killer tonight. Taking a look at photos now of that suspect and what he looks like and his car at this point. We understand he drives a silver Mercedes-Benz. Police telling us right now he is armed and dangerous, and they want to make sure that message gets out to the community. The suspect in this murder, of course, no stranger to Judge Wilkinson. Deputies say Argote was not in the courtroom yesterday as that case proceeded, but Judge Wilkinson had granted his wife custody of their children during that hearing tonight. The search is on for Argote and his silver Mercedes. Meanwhile, neighbors are rattled after tragedy shook their quiet community.
Argote is not in custody and is considered armed and dangerous. If anyone has information on Argote's location, we ask that they immediately contact local law enforcement.
Horrible. It's horrifying loss to lose someone like that. You had a husband, but now you don't. You have a dad, and now you don't.
Yeah, and tonight still many unanswered questions, especially when it comes to the search and when it comes to the family of Judge Wilkinson here. I had a chance to talk with deputies and law enforcement earlier today. They're telling me they're not giving any details as to whether the wife and son of Judge Wilkinson might be in any kind of protective custody or under any kind of special protections at this point. That's still unclear. Also had a chance to try and survey and canvass the neighborhood here earlier today and just get a better feel for what's going on. We did see some doorbell cameras on homes here around the neighborhood. Weren't able to get in contact with any of those neighbors, and when we asked deputies about that footage, they wouldn't give us any details as to whether or not they had that evidence in their possession at this point. But still, that search is on for Pedro Argote, 49 Pedro Argote of Frederick, and his silver Mercedes. Police are asking anybody with any information at all to get in touch with them. Live in Hagerstown, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
Randy, thank you. And responses pouring in from leaders today. Maryland Senator Ben Cardin saying, in part, quote, "The rule of law is what makes our society work. It may not be perfect, but individuals like Judge Wilkinson work to make it better and more just every day." Cardin offering condolences to Wilkinson's family and friends. And the Maryland court system offering a statement as well. They say they're grieving Wilkinson's loss and that they are actively working with law enforcement to assist in any way necessary and to provide safety and security to other judges and staff members.
Meantime, Randy had mentioned the search for that subject, Pedro Argote. Here's what we know about him this afternoon. Argote is believed to be armed and dangerous. According to the sheriff's office, they say yesterday Wilkinson had presided over a divorce proceeding, which custody of Argote's children were awarded to the woman in that case. Argote was not in attendance for that hearing. Sheriffs say that he's now believed to be driving this similar 2009 Mercedes GL450 SUV. Washington County sheriffs are joined by state police, Hagerstown City Police, and the U.S. Marshals in their search. We'll keep you updated on air and online at dcnewsnow.com with the latest.
All right, well, switching gears now, live look at the Capitol here on this Friday at 4:05. Looking dry so far, but we know things could change, Ben, and meteorologist Janessa Webb.
Standing by. It looks a little gray out there as it is, Janessa, on the dual highway in Hagerstown. Good evening.
Yeah, we have two different patterns that are happening. It really depends on sections of the DMV that you're currently in. We have wet conditions out towards areas of Hagerstown, dual highway, increasing clouds, and then southern Maryland, a soaking rain that's currently happening. DC, not so much. So let's show you this first wave. Here is what we are seeing on composite radar, that good batch of moisture across Montgomery County, taking kind of this closer look. It's moving fairly fast for Prince George's County out towards Leland, Upper Marlboro, the Brown area, light to scattered showers, making your way up towards Montgomery County as well. Seeing some dry slots in that area, but across 270, a little bit of moisture. Here is the problem zone that we're going to continue to watch throughout the rest of the evening until about 9 o'clock, where multiple waves of rain are going to impact areas of Calvert County into Lexington Park. Temperatures across the area, not super bad out there. We are actually pretty seasonable for this time of year. 62 out towards Leesburg, Loudoun County. Hey, good evening. Orange and Culpeper, Fauquier County, still into the 60s. So you do have some milder air that is trying to push in. Now, that southerly wind is definitely going to be an issue as we head into your weekend. We're seeing sustained winds and gusts up to about 25 to 30 miles per hour. Fall foliage, it is big time this weekend. We are starting to hit our peak. The rain showers definitely going to be prevalent throughout the rest of the evening. Around 6 to 7 o'clock, we are still into the 60s. We do have blustery conditions for your weekend and then some more sunshine. I have that full weekend forecast coming up.
All right, Janessa, thank you. And developing right now in the Middle East, Hamas has released 2 American hostages, including a mother and her daughter. They're Judith Tai Renan and her 17-year-old daughter, Natalie. News Nation reports that they had been visiting Israel to celebrate a relative's birthday when they were taken hostage. Israel believes a little more than 200 people are being held hostage by Hamas since their initial attack on October 7th.
Developing now, a Muslim civil rights organization is forced to move its annual banquet this weekend over death and bomb threats. The Council on American Islamic Relations, or CAIR, was told by the Marriott Crystal Gateway Hotel in Arlington that it can't move forward with their 29th annual event because of security risks. Our political and government reporter Leonard N. Fleming has been talking to Muslim Americans today about this. Leonard, good afternoon. Many people believe that this is due to the Israeli-Hamas conflict.
Ben, good afternoon, and to you, Annalisa. Look, this is deeply troubled officials from CAIR who've been told by hotel officials they simply didn't have the apparatus to protect them security-wise. And at this hotel, the Marriott Hotel, simply had to have them go to another location. And now they are forced to leave a hotel that they've used for nearly 20 years. With tensions rising in the Middle East and an Israeli invasion of Gaza expected soon, authorities have reportedly seen more threats toward Muslims in the region. These repeated threats have led Marriott hotel officials to cancel the Council on American Islamic Relations banquet in Arlington. Hotel officials say they could not guarantee the safety for their attendees and their guests. Here is Nahad Awad, the executive director of CAIR, on the threats.
Unfortunately, the threats included bomb threats, death threats, and threats to kill people, and throwing Molotov cocktails at the crowd and at the hotel, which is almost unprecedented for our organization. But also, we're not surprised by the intensity of the hate, the anti-Palestinian and anti-Muslim sentiment that we see rising for a long time, but especially in the past 2 weeks.
The organization has moved its banquet to another hotel, and an undisclosed hotel, for safety reasons. Guys?
Tough circumstances indeed. Leonard, before you go, do CAIR officials think that more threats are coming their way?
Yes, and they're greatly concerned about this, considering the tensions continue to rise in the Middle East with this reported invasion that Israel may take on Gaza coming up. So this is something they're expecting more of in the future, more threats. Reporting from Arlington, Leonard and Fleming, DC News Now, back to you.
Leonard, thank you. And happening now, Howard University is celebrating its homecoming weekend. The theme this year is revival. As part of the tradition celebrating the school's legacy, the annual football game will take place on Saturday at noon at Green Stadium. The Bison will take on Norfolk State University. Head coach Larry Scott spoke to our Living Local DMV host about what to expect.
You know, we just came out of a 6-game non-conference stretch where we played some pretty good football teams. We went up to, the last 3 weeks we went to Robert Morris down in Pittsburgh, and then we went up to Chicago and played Northwestern in a nail-biter, a Big Ten team, and lost by 3 points. And then last week we had a tough one up in Boston against Harvard. So it's been a physical, long stretch for us, but we're excited to be back home in Green Stadium. What a way to come back home, homecoming.
The university's 18th president, who started on September 1st, Ben Vinson III, shared a statement with alums and students reminding them to remain vigilant while embracing the spirit of excellence and community. Students are encouraged to download the Bison Safe app to stay connected with campus police. Shootings were reported at 2 other historically black colleges and universities in Maryland during their homecomings in recent weeks.
Meantime, starting today, commuters will see some road closures as a result of Howard's homecoming events. Both today and tomorrow, from midnight to 6 p.m., there will be closures on 6th Street, Howard Place, Girard Street, and Fairmont Street, all in Northwest. Closures will continue tomorrow on 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th Streets. Additionally, closures on Georgia Avenue, Florida Avenue in Northwest. They will cause some problems for commuters.
And new at 412 rather here, Election Day in Virginia is less than 3 weeks away, and every seat in the state house is up for grabs. Republicans are looking to take control of the Senate, which would give them total control of the state government. Meanwhile, tonight, one candidate is hoping his attention-grabbing write-in campaign will get him to Richmond. As Haley Milon found out, he's promising to give out guns.
I want to communicate that I'm very comfortable with guns.
Former Delegate Dave LaRocque is tossing up a Hail Mary, hoping to woo conservatives in Senate District 1 with a campaign promise: free guns. LaRocque says he'll raffle off 10 vouchers to a local gun store, using campaign funds to cover the cost, about $4,500 total. LaRocque's write-in campaign drew sharp criticism from Virginia's Republican Party leadership, accusing LaRocque of possibly siphoning general election votes away from GOP farmer and political newcomer Timmy French, who's endorsed by Governor Glenn Youngkin. A staunch Donald Trump supporter, LaRocque says the giveaway is also a response to Biden administration policy.
These ridiculous immigration policies that let illegal aliens and many of them terrorists come across our border, I think actually kind of meshes with the idea of being able to defend yourself by owning firearms.
Democratic candidate Emily Scott says the giveaway is a distraction from the issues that directly impact the district.
And just about every major highway in this district needs some work. We have a problem with affordable housing, the potential abortion ban that's been proposed by Glenn Youngkin.
In a district that is 2/3 Republican and a race that has massive implications for the future of the Commonwealth, she's hoping to benefit from conservative infighting.
It does provide an opening. If enough people vote for Dave LaRocque, I could win.